Running a Roman legion was not cheap. We're talking about paying, feeding, and equipping thousands of soldiers every single day for decades. So let's start with the most obvious cost, the paycheck. Roman soldiers had an official salary called the Stipendium. Think of it as base pay, and just like today, it went up whenever the emperor needed soldiers to stay loyal. Under Augustus, a basic soldier earned 225 denarii a year. A denarius was a small silver coin, the everyday money of the Roman world. To put that in perspective, one denarius could buy you about 12 loaves of bread. So, 225 denarii wasn't rich, but it was steady. Emperor Domitian later raised it to 300, then Septimius Severus pushed it to 450, a near doubling in less than a century. Sound familiar? But not everyone got paid the same. A regular soldier made his 225 to 450, but a centurion, the officer commanding 80 men, earned 15 to 60 times that amount. Bigger pay gap than most companies today. And the biggest cost wasn't even the weekly wage. After 20 to 25 years of service, every soldier was owed a retirement payout, called the premia, roughly 3,000 denarii all at once, or a plot of land. That's 13 years of salary paid in one go. Multiply that by thousands of soldiers retiring at the same time. That bill kept Roman emperors up at night. But wait, that salary? The soldier never actually saw all of it. Here's something Rome didn't put on the recruitment poster. The state took money back right out of your pay before you ever touched it. They called it deductions. Sound familiar? It's basically the world's first payroll tax system. What did they deduct? Food? Equipment? Your share of the burial club? Yes, soldiers paid into a fund that covered their funeral costs. Even tent maintenance came out of your wages. So that 225 denarii salary, after deductions, a soldier might take home closer to half of that. Think about it this way. Rome was your employer, but Rome was also your landlord, your grocer, and your armor dealer, all at the same time. You couldn't say no, you couldn't shop around. Whatever Rome said the bread cost, that's what it cost. Whatever Rome said the shield cost, that's what it cost. The soldier was locked in, paid by the empire, charged by the empire. And yet, men still signed up. Because outside the army, life was often harder. At least inside the legion, you ate every day. So now you know what Rome paid its soldiers. But the paycheck was just one part of the bill. Every single day, a Roman legion had to eat. And we're not talking about a small grocery run. A legion had around 5,000 men. Each soldier needed roughly 3 pounds of grain per day. That's 15,000 pounds of grain every single day, just to keep the men on their feet. But the men weren't the only ones who needed to eat. Every group of 8 soldiers shared a mule. That mule carried their tent, their tools, their cooking gear. Scale that up and you've got over 600 mules per legion. Every single one of them needed barley and hay daily. If the mules didn't eat, they couldn't walk. If they couldn't walk, the legion couldn't move. No tents, no artillery, no supplies. The animals weren't a luxury. They were the legs of the entire operation. And then there was water. A legion needed somewhere between 20,000 and 30,000 gallons of water every single day for the men, for the animals, for cooking, for basic hygiene. That means every time a legion set up camp, the very first question wasn't, "Are we safe?" It was, "Is there water here?" No water, no camp. No camp, no legion. Food was a daily cost, but before a soldier could even eat his first meal, Rome had to equip him. Every legionary got a full kit, a set of armor called the larica segmentata, a large shield called the scutum, 2 throwing spears called pila, and a short sword, the gladius. That's a lot of metal, and metal costs money. But here's the twist. Rome didn't exactly gift you that equipment. Most of it got deducted straight from your pay, back to that payroll system again. And once the gear was issued, keeping it working was its own cost. Every legion carried mobile blacksmiths and armorers. These were skilled workers whose entire job was fixing broken armor and sharpening blades on the move. Then there was the heavy stuff. Ballistae, large crossbow-like weapons, onagers, basically giant catapults. Building them took time, moving them took manpower and animals. Rome didn't just field an army, it fielded a moving weapons factory. Now here's a cost that never shows up in any accounting book. time. Moving a Roman legion wasn't like moving an army. It was like moving a city. Tens of thousands of men, animals, weapons, food, and equipment, all traveling together. And when the road wasn't good enough, the legion built it. Soldiers were construction workers as much as they were fighters. That took days, sometimes weeks. Every mile of delay cost Rome money. Soldiers still needed to eat. Animals still needed water. The bill kept running whether the legion was fighting or just walking. Movement wasn't free. It was one of the quietest and most expensive costs of all. So, what happened when Rome couldn't pay its bill? The soldiers made sure everyone knew about it. In 14 AD, right after Emperor Augustus died, legions along the Rhine River mutinied. They weren't angry about a battle. They were angry about money, back pay that never came, service years that kept getting extended, retirement bonuses that were always coming soon. Sound familiar? These weren't just angry soldiers throwing a tantrum. This was a financial contract broken. And when that contract broke, the entire empire shook. Rome had to send its best generals to calm things down. Promises were made. Money was handed out fast, because the alternative, a full rebellion, would have cost 10 times more. Here's the lesson. An army this large runs on trust just as much as it runs on coins. The moment soldiers stopped believing Rome would pay, the whole system was at risk. The payroll wasn't just an expense. It was the glue holding the empire together. So let's zoom out. All those salaries, all that grain, all those mules, weapons, blacksmiths, and retirement payouts. Add it all together, and what do you get? At its peak, the Roman military consumed 70 to 80% of the entire imperial budget. Let that sink in. For every 10 coins Rome collected in taxes, 7 or 8 of them went straight to the army. That left almost nothing for everything else. Roads, buildings, food programs, government salaries, all of it fighting over what was left. So what did Rome do when the money ran short? They did what every desperate government does. They cheated the currency. They melted down silver coins and mixed in cheaper metals. More coins, but worth less each time. Soldiers noticed, prices went up. So soldiers demanded higher pay. So Rome printed more cheap coins, so prices went up again. A doom loop spinning for centuries. And here's the final thought to leave you with. The army that built Rome, that conquered nations, built roads, and held borders for hundreds of years, that same army became the financial weight that helped break it. Rome didn't just fall to invaders. It was already exhausted, already bankrupt, already broken from the inside. And it all started with a paycheck.